Yo, this is Mike, Ringmaster of the Imagination Circus, today and forever known as Archangel the Pegasus. Today I'm going to be doing another commentary video for MLP. This is Season 1, Episode 4? Yes, 4 Applebuck season. Big Applejack episode. So, yeah, let's get right into it, shall we? This is, my commentary on the episode. I hope you, enjoy it.
Boy,
Sweet Apple Acres.
I got my work cut out for me.
Jeez, I will never get used to rewatching this animation. Like, eventually we're gonna catch up, but it's so, like, it's 3D, but it's flat.
Come on, big brother.
It's also stiff flat. Like, the new animation is so thick. So,
sorry.
yeah. Also, actually, how did Big Mac injure himself? I'm curious about that.
Are you saying my mouth is making promises my legs can't keep?
That's a very odd expression. Also, Big Mac, you are talking more here than you will for a majority of the rest of the series. In the movie, he got one cameo, and they could have used like an old voice clip for that.
Use your fancy mathematics to muddy the issue. I said I could handle this harvest.
Okay.
I'm gonna prove it to you. I'm gonna get every last apple out of those trees this Applebuck season all by myself.
Yeah, my biggest problem with the episode is that Applejack is so stubborn. I mean, yeah, she is so stubborn, and that is definitely her biggest issue, is that she doesn't listen to anybody else, and she's so gung-ho about doing things her way. Even in the future, that becomes a problem, and I'll get more into that both at the end of this episode and in future commentaries and all of that. But yeah, I do like Applejack, but I think my biggest issue with her is probably that she reminds me a little too much of myself, being both dangerously honest and dangerously stubborn. So, yeah, play.
Well, I better get kicking. These apples aren't gonna shake themselves out of the trees.
Nope, definitely not.
Hey! Oh no!
Or, the world could contradict you a second later. But I think that's one of the old formulas when it comes to comedy. Or, I don't know. I mean, why do writers like irony so much? Also, Cow Stampede. You see a lot of those characters that we become slightly more familiar with later, like Berry Punch and Lyra. And I think I recognize that last pony, but I can't tell you her name. Also, Pinky's fourth wall powers, at least this is like how I like to interpret it, that she can, like, tell that they're not really in danger, that it's like, oh, well, we're not really in danger. I know that Applejack is about to come save us because I can see past the fourth wall. That's always how I like to interpret it, mostly because I don't like to think that Pinky's just being kind of obtuse. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Also, Mare, not doing much of anything except, I don't know what she does. I mean, she's a mayor, but in this situation, she's not particularly useful. I mean, I know she runs the town in a sense, but really, what else? In this particular situation, she's not kind of helpful at all. No offense, Mayor. Anyway, moving on.
Look there!
Man, that both of those things were so dramatic. Oh, God. It's easy to forget. This is so early on in the show. They haven't quite figured certain things out yet. Also, Winona, nice to see you. We don't see you very often now that I think.
Come on, little doggy. Come! Winona, put him up.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Also, a pretty, I don't know, does the movie reference happen later? I think the movie reference happens later in this. Yeah. Then again, I guess this whole thing is kind of a movie reference, and one of the earliest in the whole series. But I'll get to that later. But here's something I really do have to talk about.
Oh my! Begging your pardon.
Alright, I just want to go, like, I don't even need to listen to this part, but I need to tell you right now, I have such an issue with this. Like, what is this about? These are cows, and they're being treated by regular cows, like regular cows. They're not regular cows. They are intelligent and they can talk, or at least they're intelligent enough that they can hold conversations with the ponies. Now, of course, this is something we see along the lines of the series that is a bit of a trend, is that generally speaking, with the exception of maybe one thing that has come up, most four-hooved animals can talk. Or maybe one or two exceptions. I don't know. The fact is, these cows can talk. They are marginally intelligent, but they're apparently still kept on the farm and kept to be milked. Or at least that is the implication we see later down the line and is more or less held here. So I have a question. What is the society? I get that ponies are the, like, you know, clearly the major, you know, population of Equestria and all that, but it's so confusing. It makes no sense. Why these talking cows? Oh God. Moving on. Just moving on. Also, the cow just said hi to Winona, which, I don't know how to feel about that. I really don't. Also, what's a cow pony? I mean, I guess Applejack is a cow pony, but exactly. Like Pinkie Pie just said, ride a cow pony. What does a cow pony ride?
1 week later.
A party! We all ready? Just one last thing.
That's a nice
Now
banner.
we're ready.
It's not a bad banner by
Is
any
Applejack
chance.
all set? Actually, I haven't seen her all week. Not since the stampede. But she'll be here for sure.
Also,
Applejack is never late.
yeah. And Twilight.
Welcome, every pony. Today we are here to honor a pony we can always count on to help in matters great and small. A pony whose contributions to... Did you see Applejack's slick moves out there? What an athlete! This week, she's gonna help me with my new flying trick, and I know it's gonna be so fun!
This is one of those moments in the series where it's like, look at that face. Look at that face. You can't tell me. Look at that face. It's... Oh, man. I don't know how to feel about that face. That face is so rainbow, and yet it's so... Oh, and then look at that sour expression on Twilight. It's like, man, like a good portion of her snout has just kind of disappeared there, but it's like, oh, man. And in both cases, it's just kind of bizarre. It's like, oh, I don't know how to feel. But then again, like I said, the animation has improved so much. I can't get over how weird this looks, and yet at the same time, I love the expressions here. Love it.
So free samples for every pony!
I mean, I'm assuming that the Cakes approved of that. It is their place of business after all.
Twilight, I'm so sorry, but I just wanted to mention that Applejack is also helping me this week with the official bunny census, where we count up all the new baby bunnies that were born this season. She's gonna help gather them using her wonderful herding skills.
Anyone else? Anyone? No? Well then, as I
mean, to be fair, nothing from Rarity, which I will give them credit. They didn't cram Rarity into the episode in a way where it's like, you know, she was going to work with, like, Applejack and all, so. But then again, at this point, those two are probably the least friends to each other in the whole group. You know what I mean?
Trustworthiness, reliability, and integrity, Ponyville's most capable and dependable friend, Applejack.
Mayor, you better hold on to that position like nobody else, because soon it's...
Applejack, that was awesome!
Yeah, I get you, Spike, I get you.
Awkward. I'm here! Sorry I'm late. Well, I was just... Did I get your tail? Miss Mayor, thank you kindly for this here award thingy. It's so bright and shiny and... I sure do look funny.
You do. I will give you that. You look very funny, Applejack.
Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you, Applejack, for saving us from
I'm
that
sorry,
scary
I couldn't
stampede.
resist. But really,
And always being there for everybody.
and this is true, but she's so sleep deprived that she's on the same level as Pinky, which, I'm gonna be honest, normal ponies can't handle the Pinky level. They are not ready for it. They're not on par with Pinky. They can't do it. Of course, Pinky is totally indifferent to everything. She's smiling the whole time like, yeah, nothing's wrong. You know, Applejack's being a little more interesting today.
Was it just me, or did Applejack seem a little tired?
Dizzy?
Messy? Well, did you see her mane?
She seemed fine
To be
to me. Woo!
Yeah, and of course, Twilight, being new to friendship, wants to help, but doesn't really understand, you know, outside of the I mean, she will. Very quickly, I might add, but still.
Oh! What on earth is that pony doing? Whoops. Hey, Applejack! Applejack! Applejack!
I like that she's sleeping standing up like an actual horse. I mean,
Applejack!
really, like an actual dang horse.
Twilight.
What is all this?
It's Applebuck season. Whoa.
Apple what season?
Yeah. It's what the apple family calls harvesting time. We gather all the apples from the trees so we can sell them.
But why are you doing it all alone?
'Cause Big Macintosh hurt himself.
What about all those relatives I met when I first came to Ponyville? Can't they help?
They were just here for the apple family reunion. They actually live all over Equestria and are busy harvesting their own orchard.
I like this. I really do. I had to interrupt for this just because, like, that's a really nice touch. Bringing up that, yeah, you know, they have all these relatives, all these apples, but of course, they were just here in the first episode, and this is one of the earliest points of actual continuity that they bring up, like, oh, yeah, no, they were just here for the reunion. And they bring the reunion back in its own episode, so yeah. Although they still haven't explained what the hell moons are, like, seriously, how much is a moon? Like, we need to know. I want to know, because it'll definitely help me calculate how long the series has been going on in-universe. You know what I mean? Come on. But anyway, yeah, let's continue.
So, how about my own? Which means I should really get back to work. Hint, hint. Get back to work.
Fine.
Could you step aside, Twilight?
I just did.
Yeah.
Jack, you don't look so good.
Mm-hmm.
No, none of you
I mean,
three
would
were
anybody
none
look
of
good under
fine
these circumstances? I mean, really.
Whoa.
Do you want some help?
Mm-hmm.
Help? No way, no how.
Stubborn,
way
like
you
I
can do it
said,
on your
it's
own.
really
Is that
probably...
the challenge?
Yeah.
No.
Also, the rubbernecking animation,
I'm gonna prove
it's
to you
early
that I
on.
can
They
do
didn't know what they
it.
were doing all the way yet.
Me, I've got apples to buck.
Yeah. Oh, I love that expression. Oh, I love that expression for Twilight. I'm sorry. I interrupt for her faces sometimes, but I have to bring that up. Yeah, I love that expression. Oh, the squinty eyes and the snout scrunching up at her face. It's kind of adorable, but at the same time, she's so distressed and worried about her friend. And, you know, and plus, it's a cringe face. That's what it is. Oh my god, this is Twilight's cringe face. I love it. I just realized. Brilliant. I love that. Also, how is... I mean, I guess it's wide enough, but if that thing's shaped like a heart, how is Rainbow balancing on it?
I was busy apple bucking, and I guess I closed my eyes for a second, and when I woke up, I was late.
Yeah, because being sleep deprived really isn't helpful. I should know. I've made several mistakes when it comes to very important appointments while being sleep deprived. It's not a good idea.
I can take off on my own.
Once I'm in the air, I'm gonna do some amazing flips and spins that are sure to impress the Wonder Boys.
Isn't that a mite dangerous?
Not for a pony who can fly.
Well, all right then.
Please. Just because you could fly, it doesn't mean you could. Like, come on. You are... Also, really...
Oh my.
This is, like, probably the best example of slapstick in the entire series. Yep.
Maybe I wasn't clear. You're supposed to land on the other end.
Got it.
Yeah. Considering how much punishment she's put through in this episode, it really is a wonder that Applejack didn't come out with some kind of permanent brain damage as a result. I mean, between that and the sleep deprivation, I mean, come on.
Really? I have an idea. Watch this.
And I have tried just what she's doing right now, and I gotta tell you, it doesn't usually work. It doesn't. Again, like I said, this is why my biggest problem with Applejack is she reminds me of my own problems, of my own flaws, and also, I love that only, like, I mean, granted.
Here I go.
Oh.
Wait! You're welcome.
Banjo riff at the end. Jeez. Also, this is a very... This scene reminds me of this.
I don't think so.
No, can we talk?
I love how it is interesting, and it is interesting to consider how Twilight is the one who's concerned or like acting the most friend-like here, where she's trying to help out Applejack, whereas none of the other main six are. And that's because very clearly they're not friends yet, or at least they're not as tight-knit as they will be in the future. Because of Twilight, nonetheless. Like, they're all friends.
I wasn't feeling quite myself this morning.
Good lord.
Because you're working
This is very annoying. Also, but seriously, they haven't become quite as great friends yet, and as such, it's no wonder that nobody else is trying to help. I mean, Rarity's definitely not going to do it. Rainbow might, under the right circumstances, but really, the fact that she doesn't help either doesn't surprise me. Pinky... Well, Pinky in her current incarnation doesn't really understand, like, she's not as aware of reality as she'll become later, or at least she doesn't respond as real as her character isn't quite as complex yet, so she's not doing nothing. So, yeah. And then, of course, there's Fluttershy. I mean, Fluttershy in her current incarnation is also too shy to confront Applejack. So, yeah.
Not the best baker ever.
So the fact that it's, of all ponies, the one who knows the least about friendship, the fact that it's Twilight is kind of the part that's most interesting. Also, this scene, too.
All right. Well, see you later, girls.
Stop with the shaking. It's time to get bacon.
Okay.
I'll get the sugar and the eggs. Can you get me some chocolate chips?
What was that?
It is interesting to consider how out of it, like, Applejack is here. Like,
What next? Soda. Perfect.
she's like, apparently she's only hearing every other word that Pinky is saying, and so...
A cup of flour.
Also, apparently some bronies have gone and even tried to make these with a substitution when it came to the final ingredient. Though I wouldn't be surprised if they did it wholesale and used every ingredient accurately, but still.
There must be fancy talk for earthworms.
And then in the last case, she misheard the word completely. It was
That's gonna be
germ,
delicious.
worm. Those two don't even rhyme. You know what I mean? I mean, they just don't.
Sample spectacular.
Yeah. I like a good blueberry muffin, maybe a chocolate chip muffin, but I'm not really a muffin person. More of a cupcake person. Also, Derpy, nice to see you again. Also, poor Derpy.
Came as soon as we heard.
Like, come on.
Twilight. We need all the help we can get.
Also, I like that this nurse, like, let's think about this for a second, okay? I'm gonna pause it here because I want to think about this. Clearly, we know that Ponyville has a hospital, at least now. We don't know, we haven't actually seen the hospital yet, at least at this point in the series, but we do know it exists now. Now, this is Nurse Redheart, I believe, and she set up this emergency medical tent, which makes me believe that just enough ponies in Ponyville have come down with what is essentially food poisoning and have gone to the hospital to the point that they needed to set up an emergency tent out in the middle of town because that's how bad this case of food poisoning is, and it's hilarious. Also, they went to Twilight to solve this problem. Like, I mean, I guess she does have some sort of authority being the personal student of the princess and all that, but it is interesting to consider that they came to her when it got to this point. Also, Spike, you really shouldn't be doing what you're doing here. Like, that's not okay.
Not baked goods.
Ugh. That really is quite nasty.
Want one?
Oh, man. It's his dragon stomach, I tell you. If a guy could digest gemstones, there's no other explanation for him being able to handle that damn muffin. Like, holy crud. Also, here we go with this one. Now this, I understand why she's going, but why would she set up that crate in the middle of there? Like, in the middle of that small trench. Also, why are there so many hills on the Apple family property? It makes very little sense. I mean, I guess she's that sleep deprived, but still.
No, I don't.
Yeah?
Let me help.
Help? No, thanks.
It really is interesting to consider. This is the most stubborn version of Applejack we've ever gotten. She's shown that stubbornness in the future, but this is this is by far the moment where she shows how, like, the worst of her personality. Like,
come on.
and it brings up some serious questions about what she was like before Twilight got to town, because I doubt this is the first time something like this has happened.
I knew that.
Actually, Applejack, I had something else to talk to you about. I just came back from Ponyville Urgent Care and...
You know, I'm a little busy to get lectured right now, Twilight.
But if you'd just let me help...
No.
I mean, look at this indignation. She's acting like... well, I mean, it's pointed out by Twilight right about here. She's acting like as stubborn as a mule.
Stubborn as a mule. No offense.
None taken.
Also, what is that mule doing on the Apple family property? Like, I'm sorry, but what is this dude doing on the property? Dude, did you just wander here? I think I pointed this out in one of my other videos. Was it the Cozy Glow Fury video? What is, like, she was there for a serious reason, and I get it. That was for a joke. But still, what did mule, like, they gotta put some fences around Sweet Apple Acres. Hey, it keeps happening.
Lots of new baby bunnies have been born, so it's my job to get a count of all the new families.
Fine. Can we just get on with it?
Certainly.
Yeah, see what I mean? She's being irritable to Fluttershy, and I appreciate, Fluttershy, that you are being so understanding and not reacting at all, but good lord!
Right, Winona?
Winona, on the other hand, Winona, you should be a better dog and get your master under, into shape. This is,
In the center.
look at her! She's scaring poor, defenseless bunny rabbits. And I know, I'm not usually so, like, what can I say? My weakness is cute things. I'm so easily brought down by cute things.
Applejack, Winona, stop! You're scaring them.
We know what we're doing.
And again, this does not speak well to Winona's intelligence. Oh, now she puts on a serious face. See what I mean? She's growling. Before she was smiling, now she's growling, and now this, the bunnies! Oh, the bunnies! Okay, this is the part I was talking about earlier. Coming in, the true reference here. Only it's, I mean, to be fair, it's probably the most adorable stampede in the history of, like, ever, but yeah. Yeah. And I like that Twilight, being probably in her library most of the day, is only coming back into town now. And
Disaster! A horrible, horrible disaster!
I don't get it. Our
yeah, I don't get it either.
Destroyed.
Every last flower devoured!
By them! Oh my! Oh, please stop, little bunnies! Oh, no! Please, let's go home! No! Oh my goodness!
And of course, they're no longer stampeding. Now they're just kind of wandering around without any direction or whatever. Also, yes, this is definitely the time to get serious, Twilight. So serious.
Must finish harvesting.
All right, Applejack. Your apple bucking hasn't just caused you problems. It's overpropelled Pegasus, practically poisoned plenty of ponies, and terrorized bushels of brand new bouncing baby bunnies. I don't care what you say.
That's some fine alliteration right there, Twilight. I do appreciate that.
Ha! No, I don't. Look, I did it. I harvested the entire Sweet Apple Acres without your help. How'd you like
Actually,
them apples?
you only got about half.
You like them apples.
And thank you for your very timely arrival, Big Macintosh. Also,
Put a little of your stubborn pride aside and allow your friends to help you.
that's right.
Okay, Twilight. I am not taking no
That's
for an
right.
answer. What?
That's right. She's realizing those mistakes she made.
Please, I could really
Damn
use
straight.
your help.
Okay, can I just point out, this is something I would like to call meme face. I pointed it out somewhat in the first half of the two-parter, if I remember correctly. Maybe I wish I had pointed them out more, because there have been a couple of these, even more so than earlier in the episode. But this is a meme face. This is the kind of thing you attach the undercurrents of a meme, and you put it out on the internet, and you let it to be judged by people. Because look at this face. The strangest animation errors. It's not even an animation error. It's just kind of a weird, funky looking animation from this angle. I mean, I don't even know how to describe this. What do you call this? I don't know, but it's really bizarre. It's just really bizarre. So, like, anybody who has any thoughts on this, please talk to me, because this is strange. This is just strange. But also, this is a simple question, but, what would Twilight have done if, like, Applejack hadn't given in? Like, what would she have been able to do? Also, sigh of relief.
Dear
And
Princess Celestia,
I like how many
friend
apples
Applejack
missed
is
the
the
card
best friend
because
a pony
it, like,
could ever
rainbow,
have. And
whereas...
she's always there to help any pony.
Yep.
The only trouble is, when
And
she
of course,
needs help, she
like,
finds it hard
some
to accept
sweet,
it.
sweet unicorn
So
magic,
which of us
thanks to
about healing
Twilight's
ourselves to friends
particularly
is also about
impressive
accepting what our
telekinesis.
friends have to
That
offer.
is a very
Your
impressive amount of
faithful
apples.
student, Twilight Sparkle.
I know I'm talking over the
Y'all
lesson,
take a
but
little break.
I don't personally
fine
care
apples for you.
much about the lesson. Well, I do. I'll get to
Girls,
that.
I can't thank you enough for this help. I was acting a bit stubborn.
A bit?
Okay, I'm might stubborn. And I'm awful sorry. Now, I know the town gave me the prize pony award, but the real award is having you five as my friends. Phew. That apple bucking sure made me hungry, and I've got the perfect treat.
Ew, Spike, I threw those away. Where'd you get them?
From the trash.
Ew.
Just a little nibble? Come on.
Seriously, why would you do that to Spike? Like, what point was there in having him do something like that? I mean, I get it. They hadn't quite captured his personality yet of being helpful. He's still very immature, but good lord, that's nasty. And you know what? He could totally handle it. He's the only one who isn't sick, but that's because he's got a dragon stomach and intestines. Like, anyone else wouldn't be able to handle those rather gross muffins, but he likes them, apparently. I mean, I guess it's probably, like with the worms, he's getting more protein in those muffins than he is probably in most of his other meals. Like, I doubt there's a lot of protein in Jewels, and I don't know, I'm just saying, Spike should probably be eating more meat. But otherwise, yeah, that was Applebuck season, and my overall thoughts on the episode, outside of the ending. It was interesting to go back to this, and I will say, this is probably the most, Applejack-centric episode, at least the one that focuses most on her alone and her development. There are a couple of other episodes where she shares, with other characters later down the line where it works and it doesn't work and, all the problems that may occur. But otherwise, this was a decent episode, and especially a decent first showing for a member of the main six who wasn't Twilight. And I appreciate that in this episode. I will say that they still haven't quite gotten Applejack's voice there. Like they're getting there, but they still haven't quite captured it just yet. I will also say that otherwise, there's a fairly decent amount of character development here. Overall, I'd say this was a decent episode. I would say I like it more than Ticketmaster. I really don't think I like it more than the first two-parter, but I definitely like it more than Ticketmaster. So overall, I'd say this is probably the third best episode so far in this season, if we're counting the two-parter as individual episodes. Maybe there were a few places where they could have improved, but mostly it was minor nitpicks from, characterization of certain individuals, specifically Spike and Pinky, still. And overall, I enjoyed it, and it was interesting to commentate on it and look back and watch it one more time. And also, I would just like to point out to everybody watching this video that, I'm working on a couple of special projects, other things to do on the channel. So stuff like this, more commentaries, other things, very different. But I hope you all enjoy those when they do come out. They should be coming out in a couple weeks or a month even. But I am working on some new things for the channel, and I hope you all enjoy those when they do come out. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this commentary. I hope you enjoyed the video overall. I am Mike. Ringmaster of the Imagination Circus and Archangel the Pegasus. Please come back for more, and I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for watching.